Fala pessoal, sejam muito bem-vindos ao canal Aprendendo Inglês Rápido e no vídeo de hoje você vai aprender 200 verbos irregulares em inglês com a tradução e frases de exemplo. Como eu sempre digo, a repetição é a chave da memorização e do aprendizado quando se trata de aprender inglês. Então, se possível, assista esse vídeo várias vezes para absorver ainda mais o conteúdo. E se você gosta desse tipo de vídeo, se inscreva no canal para acompanhar os próximos. E se o vídeo for útil para você, já deixe seu like, combinado? Então, bora pro vídeo.
Abide. She abided by the rules. She abided by the rules. Alight. They alighted from the plane. They alighted from the plane. Arise. The sun arose in the east. The sun arose in the east. Awake. He awoke early in the morning. He awoke early in the morning. Be. She was happy. She was happy. Bear. He bore the weight of the world. He bore the weight of the world. Beat. They beat the competition. They beat the competition. Become. She became a doctor. She became a doctor. Begin. The concert began at 8 p.m. The concert began at 8 p.m. Behold. They beheld a beautiful sunset. They beheld a beautiful sunset. Bend. He bent the metal rod. He bent the metal rod. Bet. He bet $20 on the horse. He bet $20 on the horse. Bid. She bade him farewell. She bade him farewell. Bind. They bound the books together. They bound the books together. Bite. The dog bit the mailman. The dog bit the mailman. Bleed. He bled from the wound. He bled from the wound. Blow. She blew out the candles. She blew out the candles. Break. He broke the glass. He broke the glass. Breed. They bred champion racehorses. They bred champion racehorses. Bring. She brought flowers to the party. She brought flowers to the party. Build. They built a new house. They built a new house. Burn. The fire burned the forest. The fire burned the forest. Burst. The balloon burst with a loud noise. The balloon burst with a loud noise. Bust. The police busted the drug ring. The police busted the drug ring. Buy. He bought a new car. He bought a new car. Cast. He cast the fishing line into the water. He cast the fishing line into the water. Catch. She caught the ball in midair. She caught the ball in midair. Choose. They chose the red car. They chose the red car. Cling. She clung to the tree during the storm. She clung to the tree during the storm. Clothe. He clothed himself in warm attire. He clothed himself in warm attire. Come. They came to the party last night. They came to the party last night. Cost. The dinner cost $50. The dinner cost $50. Creep. The spider crept silently across the floor. The spider crept silently across the floor. Cut. She cut the paper with scissors. She cut the paper with scissors. Deal. He dealt the cards for the game. He dealt the cards for the game. Dig. They dug a deep hole in the ground. They dug a deep hole in the ground. Dive. He dived into the pool from the diving board. He dived into the pool from the diving board. Do. She did her homework last night. She did her homework last night. Draw. He drew a beautiful picture. He drew a beautiful picture. Dream. She dreamed of flying through the clouds. She dreamed of flying through the clouds. Drink. He drank a glass of water. He drank a glass of water. Drive. They drove to the beach for a vacation. They drove to the beach for a vacation. Dwell. They dwelt in a small cottage in the countryside. They dwelt in a small cottage in the countryside. Eat. She ate a delicious meal at the restaurant. She ate a delicious meal at the restaurant. Fall. The leaves fell from the trees in autumn. The leaves fell from the trees in autumn. Feed. She fed the hungry birds in the park. She fed the hungry birds in the park. Feel. He felt a warm breeze on his face. He felt a warm breeze on his face. Fight. They fought for their freedom. They fought for their freedom. Find. She found a hidden treasure in the cave. She found a hidden treasure in the cave. Fit. The dress fit perfectly. The dress fit perfectly. Flee. They fled from the approaching danger. They fled from the approaching danger. Fling. He flung the ball with great force. He flung the ball with great force. Fly. The plane flew across the ocean. The plane flew across the ocean. Forbid. They forbade smoking in the building. They forbade smoking in the building. Foresee. She foresaw the potential problems. She foresaw the potential problems. Forget. He forgot his keys at home. He forgot his keys at home. Forgive. She forgave him for his mistakes. She forgave him for his mistakes. Forsake. They forsook their old way of life. They forsook their old way of life. Freeze. The water in the pipes froze during the winter. The water in the pipes froze during the winter. Frostbite. He suffered frostbite on his fingers. He suffered frostbite on his fingers. Get. She got a new job last year. She got a new job last year. Give. They gave me a gift for my birthday. They gave me a gift for my birthday. Go. He went to the store to buy groceries. He went to the store to buy groceries. Grind. She ground the coffee beans for a fresh brew. She ground the coffee beans for a fresh brew. Grow. They grew vegetables in their garden. They grew vegetables in their garden. Handwrite. She handwrote a heartfelt letter. She handwrote a heartfelt letter. Hang. He hung a painting on the wall. He hung a painting on the wall. Have. She had a great time at the party. She had a great time at the party. Hear. I heard a beautiful melody yesterday. I heard a beautiful melody yesterday. Hide. They hid the treasure in a secret cave. They hid the treasure in a secret cave. Hit. He hit the ball out of the park. He hit the ball out of the park. Hold. She held a bouquet of flowers in her hand. She held a bouquet of flowers in her hand. Hurt. He hurt his leg during the race. He hurt his leg during the race. Inlay. The artist inlaid intricate patterns in the wood. The artist inlaid intricate patterns in the wood. Keep. They kept a diary of their travels. They kept a diary of their travels. Kneel. He kneeled to propose marriage. He kneeled to propose marriage. Knit. She knitted a warm scarf for the winter. She knitted a warm scarf for the winter. No. She knew the answer to the question. She knew the answer to the question. Lay. He laid the book on the table. He laid the book on the table. Lead. He led the team to victory. He led the team to victory. Lean. She leaned against the wall. She leaned against the wall. Leap. He leaped over the fence effortlessly. He leaped over the fence effortlessly. Learn. They learned a new language in school. They learned a new language in school. Leave. She left her keys at home by mistake. She left her keys at home by mistake. Lend. He lent me his bike for the weekend. He lent me his bike for the weekend. Let. She let her dog play in the yard. She let her dog play in the yard. Lie. He lied about his whereabouts. He lied about his whereabouts. Light. She lit the candles for a romantic dinner. She lit the candles for a romantic dinner. Lose. They lost the game in the final minutes. They lost the game in the final minutes. Make. She made a delicious cake for the party. She made a delicious cake for the party. Mean. His words meant a lot to her. His words meant a lot to her. Meet. They met at the park last Saturday. They met at the park last Saturday. Melt. The ice cream melted in the sun. The ice cream melted in the sun. Mislead. He misled his friends with false information. He misled his friends with false information. Mistake. She mistook the stranger for her brother. She mistook the stranger for her brother. Misunderstand. They misunderstood the instructions. They misunderstood the instructions. Mow. He mowed the lawn on Sunday morning. He mowed the lawn on Sunday morning. Overdraw. She overdraw her bank account by mistake. She overdraw her bank account by mistake. Overhear. I overheard their private conversation. I overheard their private conversation. Overtake. He overtook the leading car in the race. He overtook the leading car in the race. Pay. They paid for the meal with a credit card. They paid for the meal with a credit card. Preset. He preset the temperature on the thermostat. He preset the temperature on the thermostat. Prove. She proved her theory with extensive research. She proved her theory with extensive research. Put. He put the book on the shelf. He put the book on the shelf. Quit. She quit her job to start a new business. She quit her job to start a new business. Read. He read a captivating novel over the weekend. He read a captivating novel over the weekend. Rid. They rid the house of pests. They rid the house of pests. Ride. She rode her bike to the park. She rode her bike to the park. Ring. He rang the doorbell repeatedly. He rang the doorbell repeatedly. Rise. The sun rose early in the morning. The sun rose early in the morning. Rive. He rived the logs with a sharp axe. He rived the logs with a sharp axe. Run. They ran a marathon last year. They ran a marathon last year. Saw. They sawed the logs for firewood. They sawed the logs for firewood. Say. She said something that made him smile. She said something that made him smile. See. They saw a beautiful sunset at the beach. They saw a beautiful sunset at the beach. Seek. She sought adventure in far-off lands. She sought adventure in far-off lands. Sell. He sold his old car to a friend. He sold his old car to a friend. Send. They sent postcards from their vacation. They sent postcards from their vacation. Set. She set the table for a formal dinner. She set the table for a formal dinner. Sew. She sewed a beautiful dress for the party. She sewed a beautiful dress for the party. Shake. He shook hands with the new colleague. He shook hands with the new colleague. Shave. He shaved his beard this morning. He shaved his beard this morning. Shear. They sheared the sheep for their wool. They sheared the sheep for their wool. Shed. The tree shed its leaves in the fall. The tree shed its leaves in the fall. Shine. The sun shone brightly in the sky. The sun shone brightly in the sky. Shoe. He shoed the horse with new horseshoes. He shoed the horse with new horseshoes. Shoot. He shot an arrow into the target. He shot an arrow into the target. Show. She showed a magic trick to the kids. She showed a magic trick to the kids. Shrink. The sweater shrank in the wash. The sweater shrank in the wash. Shut. They shut the windows before the storm. They shut the windows before the storm. Sing. She sang a beautiful song at the concert. She sang a beautiful song at the concert. Sink. The ship sank in the deep sea. The ship sank in the deep sea. Sit. He sat in the front row during the show. He sat in the front row during the show. Slay. He slew the dragon with his sword. He slew the dragon with his sword. Sleep. They slept soundly through the night. They slept soundly through the night. Slide. She slid down the icy hill on a sled. She slid down the icy hill on a sled. Sling. He slung his backpack over his shoulder. He slung his backpack over his shoulder. Slink. The cat slinked through the shadows. The cat slinked through the shadows. Slit. She slid open the envelope with a knife. She slid open the envelope with a knife. Smell. He smelled the fresh flowers in the garden. He smelled the fresh flowers in the garden. Sneak. They sneaked into the house quietly. They sneaked into the house quietly. So she sowed the seeds in the garden. She sowed the seeds in the garden. Speak. He spoke at the conference last week. He spoke at the conference last week. Speed. The car sped down the highway. The car sped down the highway. Spell. She spelled the word correctly. She spelled the word correctly. Spend. They spent their vacation in Europe. They spent their vacation in Europe. Spill. She spilled coffee on her shirt. She spilled coffee on her shirt. Spin. He spun the wheel of fortune. He spun the wheel of fortune. Spit. He spat out the bad-tasting food. He spat out the bad-tasting food. Split. They split the bill at the restaurant. They split the bill at the restaurant. Spoil. She spoiled her dinner by adding too much salt. She spoiled her dinner by adding too much salt. Spread. They spread jam on their toast for breakfast. They spread jam on their toast for breakfast. Spring. The flowers sprung up in the garden. The flowers sprung up in the garden. Stand. He stood in line for tickets to the concert. He stood in line for tickets to the concert. Steal. She stole a piece of candy from the jar. She stole a piece of candy from the jar. Stick. The gum stuck to his shoe. The gum stuck to his shoe. Sting. The bee stung him on the arm. The bee stung him on the arm. Stink. The garbage stank in the summer heat. The garbage stank in the summer heat. Stride. He strode confidently into the room. He strode confidently into the room. Strike. She struck the ball with great force. She struck the ball with great force. String. They strung up fairy lights for the party. They strung up fairy lights for the party. Strip. She stripped the wallpaper from the wall. She stripped the wallpaper from the wall. Strive. They strove for excellence in their work. They strove for excellence in their work. Sublet. He sublet his apartment while he was away. He sublet his apartment while he was away. Sunburn. She sunburned her shoulders at the beach. She sunburned her shoulders at the beach. Swear. He swore to keep the secret. He swore to keep the secret. Sweat. They sweated profusely during the workout. They sweated profusely during the workout. Sweep. She swept the floor clean. She swept the floor clean. Swell. His ankle swelled after the injury. His ankle swelled after the injury. Swim. They swam in the lake on a hot day. They swam in the lake on a hot day. Swing. He swum on the swing set at the playground. He swum on the swing set at the playground. Take. She took the last piece of cake. She took the last piece of cake. Teach. He taught English at the local school. He taught English at the local school. Tear. She tore the paper into small pieces. She tore the paper into small pieces. Tell. They told an interesting story last night. They told an interesting story last night. Think. She thought about her future plans. She thought about her future plans. Thrive. The business thrived in a competitive market. The business thrived in a competitive market. Throw. He threw the ball with great force. He threw the ball with great force. Thrust. He thrust the sword into the ground. He thrust the sword into the ground. Tread. She tread carefully in the dark room. She tread carefully in the dark room. Undergo. She underwent a surgery last year. She underwent a surgery last year. Understand. They understood the concept after the explanation. They understood the concept after the explanation. Undertake. He undertook a challenging project. He undertook a challenging project. Upset. She upset her friend with her comments. She upset her friend with her comments. Vex. His behavior vexed everyone at the party. His behavior vexed everyone at the party. Wake. They woke up early to watch the sunrise. They woke up early to watch the sunrise. Wear. She wore a beautiful dress to the event. She wore a beautiful dress to the event. Weave. She wove an intricate pattern into the fabric. She wove an intricate pattern into the fabric. Wednesday. They wed in a small ceremony. They wed in a small ceremony. Weep. She wept when she heard the sad news. She wept when she heard the sad news. Wind. They wended their way through the forest. They wended their way through the forest. Wet. He wet his hair with water before combing it. He wet his hair with water before combing it. Win. They won the championship last year. They won the championship last year. Wind. She wound the clock every evening. She wound the clock every evening. Withdraw. He withdrew money from the ATM. He withdrew money from the ATM. Withhold. They withheld the information for security reasons. They withheld the information for security reasons. Withstand. The building withstood the strong earthquake. The building withstood the strong earthquake. Ring. She wrung out the wet clothes. She wrung out the wet clothes. Write. He wrote a heartfelt letter to his friend. He wrote a heartfelt letter to his friend. Zinc. They zinc-coated the metal to prevent rust. They zinc-coated the metal to prevent rust.